Broncos t-shirt on. It's going to be mostly football. I just wanted to kind of wait. Someone had mentioned, they like the sports rambles, football ramble. And I planned on doing this one. I just wanted to wait till, Denver kind of signed more guys, and more guys were signed and traded or whatever. And a lot has happened. The AFC West is the division making, all the fucking moves. Obviously, Denver traded for Wilson. I had mentioned that. That was a big trade for them, obviously. Their absolute number one need was quarterback. It has been for since Peyton retired. But they gave up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 1 other pick. It might have been a 5th or some shit. Or they got a 5th back, or I forget what they got back. Other than Wilson, they got 1 pick. It was either a 4th or 5th rounder. 1st and 2nd this year, 1st and 2nd next year. Shelby Harris, who's defensive line. Noah Fan, who is a good tight end, and Drew Lock, who's obviously a quarterback. I honestly think the deal works for both teams. I mean, if you're a Seahawks fan, you're like, fuck. And that's understandable, but they did get a good bout in return. I mean, 4 picks is key. 4 picks in the 1st or 2nd round is key. Noah Fant is a really good tight end, I think. So that's how Shelby Harris is good as well. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and bash on Drew Lock. I would have loved to have seen him get a legitimate shot, because he showed that kind of a little, I forget the word they use, showed a little something or whatever. His rookie year when he came in later and did well. And his next year he was okay. And then they signed Bridgewater, and Bridgewater got the starting job, which I didn't have an issue with, but I also realized that they were not going to wait another year, because I knew unless Bridgewater got them to the playoffs, he was not going to be back. They only signed a 1-year deal. And the problem is they were going to push for some quarterback, no matter who it was. Carr, Wentz, Wilson, Rodgers, Watson, whoever the fuck they were going to try to get. And they pushed. They were able to get Wilson because Rodgers ended up re-signing. And I'm actually happy they got Wilson over Rodgers, mainly because Wilson's younger. Obviously, Rodgers would have been amazing too, but Wilson is younger. But, it would have been nice to have seen Drew Lock. The problem was they were not going to be able to give Drew Lock a full shot this year, because then you're wasting another year. If he doesn't pan out, now you're fucked, and his options of getting other great quarterbacks could be gone. So Lock kind of got screwed in that situation. I mean, looking back, they should have just let him start last year. Let him start 5 or 6 games, and if it wasn't good, then go with Bridgewater the rest of the way. I hope, if he ends up starting by chance in Seattle, I hope he does well. They've also signed other people. They signed out Randy Gregory. I believe he's an edge guy from the Cowboys. I know they were considering, and Vaughn might have wanted to come back, but then I can understand why they didn't try to sign him. He signed with Buffalo for, 6 years, $120 million. That's fucking nuts. And I love Von Miller, but I understand not wanting to pay that. They signed DJ Jones, defensive tackle from the Niners. They signed a 49er lineman, offensive lineman, and a Packer offensive lineman, who I think were more backups, I guess, for depth or whatever, to 1-year deals. They signed a guy I just saw earlier, Alex Singleton, I believe, a linebacker from the Eagles, who Eagle fans said was really solid. He hasn't been in the league that long, but his stats were all right. I want to say they signed a couple other random dudes, too. Depth type of dudes. I want to say there was another signing, but I can't remember, or I'm just thinking of another team, because a lot of shit's been going on. It's on the AFC West. The fucking Raiders signed Chandler Jones, who's another guy Denver was looking at. And they traded for fucking Devontae Adams. And then gave him a fucking massive contract. But holy shit, man. That's 2 fucking sick moves. I feel like every team but the Chiefs made some kind of sick move, and the Chiefs were the team that didn't really need to make any sick moves because they're the top dog, obviously, in division. They have been for like fucking 7 years or 5 years, whatever it's been. Khalil Mack from the Bears got traded to San Diego, so now San Diego has Bosa and Mack on them. Like I said, I can't remember anything, so maybe the Chiefs have signed some people, and maybe, I don't know what the other signings have been on the other teams as well. I just know Mack got traded to San Diego, and I know Adams got traded to the Raiders, and I know that the Raiders signed Jones. But Denver's made moves too. Denver filled their obvious need. I think Denver should maybe grab another cornerback now because there's sick receivers all throughout that division. That division is, I mean, that division was good last year, and Denver was the worst team at 7-10. And that's not even complete shit. It's not good, but it's not like they were like a 2 and fucking, or they were a 2, 3, 4 win team. They were actually 7-6 until they probably lost fucking 4 in a row. But Deshaun Watson got traded to the Browns for like, I think it was 3 first round picks. Or was it 4? Like I think it was 3. It was all picks, no players. So they're not going to have a first round pick for at least 3 years. But they got rid of no players, and they traded, did they sign Amari Cooper? Did the Cowboys trade Cooper, or did they release him? I can't remember. Either way, the Browns have him. So they got a duo there. Mayfield's pretty much, I think he requested a trade, and they said no, which is kind of dick. Because regardless of what you think of Mayfield or Watson, for that matter, Watson is an upgrade. But Mayfield was not bad. Skip Bayless has got to be in fucking tears over that. But, so now Watson's on them. And, Mayfield, I mean, they could end up still moving him. A couple teams like Indy need a QB now because Wentz went to the Commanders, right? That's their name now, right? The Commanders. Wentz is pretty good, but I think I was reading like he has like a weird work ethic and like a don't give a shit attitude. So I guess that's why they got rid of him. I mean, they did lose to the Jags with the chance to go to the fucking playoffs in the final game of the season. What other moves were made? I know Bridgewater signed with the Dolphins. Oh, Denver signed Josh Johnson too as a backup QB. I think that was recent. I don't know who's available. I know that Gilmore, I think cornerback's available. There's a couple corners available that are still good. There's a few solid players still floating around free agent. But like I said, Von Miller went to the Bills. I mean, it's still a big signing, but man, that's a lot of money. Garoppolo's still out there. They said the fucking market on him is almost like fucked now. So it's going to be an interesting position if he stays with the Niners. It's clear they wanted to move on, and he kind of thought he was going to. He's not even bad either. He's not like a stud, but he's not a bad quarterback. Who else? Anybody else? I can't. Those are the big ones. Like I remembered the big ones just from the AFC West. And then the Watson thing happened yesterday or some shit. Who else? Oh, the Jets have signed some guys. They signed the Mustard. Is that his name? The running back from the Niners. He's pretty good. They signed a couple of other dudes too. I don't know who. The Giants signed somebody too. I can't remember who the hell it was. That's the main stuff. Like I'm only gonna focus on Denver and then kind of the AFC West because that's Denver's fucking division. And they're all making the fucking insane moves. Like, holy shit. Like, Denver got Wilson, fuck yeah. And all of a sudden it's like, and the Chargers got Mack. And the Raiders got Jones and Adams. And you're like, oh my god, this is going to be a tight fucking division. You never know. You could see fucking 4 teams in the playoffs, make the playoffs in that division. That'd be nuts. That's the football portion. Like I said, the baseball thing's over, the lockout. That season starts April 7th. I don't know a lot that's going on there. Like I said, I got those cards. I'm trying to like get a little bit back into baseball, and I don't know fucking 75% of the players that are in the league right now. So I'm trying to like recognize guys and shit. The Phillies just signed someone, Castellanos, something like that. His last name is. Supposed to be pretty good. He came from the Reds. I know the Mets had signed Max Scherzer, whatever the fuck his name is. And they signed a couple other dudes too. A third baseman, I think, from the Brewers they signed as well. Escobar, I think his last name is. So, Mets always spend money. The Yankees surprisingly haven't spent a shit ton. But I'm sure other guys have gone places, known players, but I don't know a lot about that. Basketball is what it is. Portland's continuing to tank. They've been losing some of their games. They've been losing recently, like in the 30 and 40 point range. A few close games and like a random win and a bunch of fucking destructions. I mean, that's the point though. At this point, they might as well fucking tank because and let the players play who you think are going to be there next year. I'm hoping, obviously, Anthony Simmons is going to be there. That's the guy who stepped up. He could be comeback, but not comeback. Most improved, maybe. He should be in the running for most improved player. I forget the guy's name. I think it's Josh Hart. He's looked pretty good. I think that's his name. I think his last name's Hart. Justice Winslow is solid. So I'm hoping those are three guys that are there on top of Damian Lillard. I don't know if Nurkic is coming back or he's going to be a free agent. I don't know what's happening there. And they should have a good pick. Their pick should be good, and I'm hoping that Pelicans pick ends up landing in between 5 and 14. Because Portland gets it if it's in between 5 and 14, I think. So they kind of need to miss the playoffs. New Orleans, but that's really basketball. I'm kind of interested in watching the playoffs. Being sports, being basketball, though, I watched last night on YouTube. It was like top 50 dunks from Sean Kemp. I used to love Sean Kemp. He was my second favorite player behind Clyde Drexler back in the day. Man, that motherfucker had some sick dunks. Holy shit. I used to have a door. You know, if you look at that door, like it was a door-sized poster of Kemp. It said the Rain Man on it. For some reason I watched that. I kind of want to watch some March Madness. I always get into March Madness, even though a lot of times I don't know a lot of the players and stuff. I just like the fucking bracket and everything. I always like that. So I know that started the other day. I think Kentucky lost in an upset. So it's like the first time they lost, or it's the first time Calipari lost in the first round, I think they said. And hockey is what it is right now. Islanders are starting to make a push, but it's probably going to be too little too late. And I kind of almost wouldn't want them to miss the playoffs so they get a better pick at this fucking point. Because I think the Islanders will be back next year being good. I think they ran into a lot of weird things this year. They had injuries. COVID fucked them for like a week when they couldn't get any games delayed, and then they finally started delaying games. And they started 13 games on the road too, which they actually were doing all right. But I think they're better than they are now. I just think they're not getting it done this year. I think they'll be back to being a playoff team next year, unless by chance, and I don't think it's going to happen because I think they're too far out. They get in this year, but I don't want them to push to get in, spend their whole energy, and get housed in the first round. Who knows? But, yeah. This is mainly a football one, just to talk about the free agency and what I remembered from free agency, and I remembered as much as I could there, but, yeah. It's just a bit of a sports ramble, mostly football and some other stuff. And thanks for checking us out, and have a good day.